أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس صدق الله العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters, viewers and sisters, this is the last chapter of Quran, the last portion of Quran, and simultaneously this is the ending chapter of those last 10 chapters that I have chosen to explain and interpret because of their profundity and small and shortness. And today I am on the verge of accomplishing those 10 chapters, as this is the last one, the Surah Naas, where Allah had explained to us three basic and foundational attributes from His attributes, and He actually begins from the verse قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ مَلِكِ النَّاسِ إِلَهِ النَّاسِ. These are three basic attributes that Allah had explained to us and told us to, if we want to protect ourselves, if we want to protect our personality, our physical and spiritual personality from all sort of whispers and from all sort of promptings of shaitan or from all sort of evils, Allah has taught us to recall these three attributes, and this beautifully powerful chapter that is Surah Naas, where Allah begins with the verse قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. He told to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says to him, he commands him, O Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, take refuge. And if we translate, first of all, I think we have to translate this chapter completely, then inshallah I'll explain few things about the chapter. The first verse is قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Say, O Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I take refuge in the Lord of people, Malikin Nas, the God of people, Ilahin Nas, Malikin Nas, the King of people, Ilahin Nas, the Lord of people, the God of people, Min Sharril Waswasil Khannas Alladhi Yuwaswisu fi Sudurin Nas, from the evil of the sneaky whisperer, Alladhi Yuwaswisu fi Sudurin Nas, that who whispers into the chest of people, into the breasts of people, min al jinnati wan nas, from among the jinn beings as well as from the ins beings or from human beings. This is the simple translation of this chapter, of this portion. The first three attributes that a human being must recall in order to protect himself from all sort of evil beings, from all sort of whispers of shaitan, from all sort of promptings of shaitan. These three powerful attributes, basically, number one is the lordship, and number two is the kingship, or you can say the sovereignty, and number three is the divinity. The lordship, the sovereignty, and the divinity. And thus Allah is the Lord of everything, Allah is the God of everything, and Allah is the King of everything. Therefore, all things are created by Him, owned by Him, and all things, including human beings and jinn beings and all who are responsible or not responsible, all things are subservient to Him. That is Allah's power, and that powerful three attributes basically are there to be recalled in order to protect oneself. If we want to protect ourselves, if we want to save ourselves from all sort of evils, from all sort of whispers of shaitan, from all sort of whispers of even human beings, because even human beings sometimes whispers, then we have to recall this surah. We have to repeat this surah. We have to recite and rehearse this beautiful and powerful chapter as much as possible, as much as we can. And Allah has made a promise, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also commanded us in few quotations and few narrations where he says, everybody who wants to seek refuge, who wants to protect himself from evils, must recite these two surahs, Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq and Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. And I told you already that these two surahs are called mu'awwizatan, means protectors. These two surahs are actually protectors. These two surahs actually protect human beings from all sort of whispers of shaitan, from all sort of evil and bad things that everybody wants to avoid. So Allah has taught us a way, a method to cure ourselves, to protect ourselves. So we must rehearse and we must recite these chapters on a regular basis. And then the one more thing that we got to know by reciting this surah, by rehearsing this surah, is the existence of jinn beings, the existence of jinn. This is a vast subject, a vast topic, but basically there are few things we must know, that there are just two creations that Allah has created and put them on the earth. There are just two creations who are responsible and accountable of their deeds and their actions. And these two creations basically are going to be judged in the day of judgment. These two creations are, one is human being and another one is jinn beings. So human beings and jinn beings both are accountable and responsible of their acts, of their actions, of their deeds. Whatever they do in this world, they will be responsible and they will be accountable, and they are going to be judged by Allah Himself in the day of recompense, in the day of judgment. When the dead are raised in the day of judgment, these two creations without a shadow of doubt are going to be judged. And that's why Allah has told us to protect ourselves from jinn beings also. And as the verse min sharril waswasil khannas alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas actually told us and actually warned us, threatened us, that there is a whisperer and sneaky whisperer who always wants to find a way to provoke oneself, to provoke one or to arouse one to commit sin, to make mistakes. And he always wants human beings to be fallen in shaitan's trap, to be fallen in his trap. That is his job. And if we analyze, I think everybody knows the incident, the famous story of Adam alayhi salam with shaitan. When Allah has created Adam alayhi salam, Allah has commanded shaitan, which was called Iblis. Allah has commanded Iblis to prostrate, to bow down in front of Adam alayhi salam, to do a sajda in front of him. But he rejected, he denied out of his arrogance, out of his anger, by saying that ana khayrum minhu khalaqtani min nar wa khalaqtahu min teen. Qala ana khayrum min khalaqtani min nar wa khalaqtahu min teen. He said that I am better because you made me, you have created me with fire, and you have created this human being with clay, with soil. So I am better. So Allah has replied, فَخْرُجْ مِنْهَا فَإِنَّكَ رَجِيمٌ. Then get out of here. Absolutely, Allah has told him, said to him, just get out of here. فَإِنَّكَ رَجِيمٌ. Verily you are accursed and you are an outcast. So that was the punishment that was given to Iblis by Allah himself when he rejected his command, when he denied to proceed his commands, where Allah has demanded him to prostrate in front of Adam alayhi salam, to bow down in front of him, because Allah has given Adam alayhi salam the dignity, the tranquility, and he, shaitan, rejected Allah's commands out of his arrogance, out of his anger. So Allah has rejected him. Then he asked Allah respite to make people go astray and to lead people astray. And he said to Allah, he asked Allah, فَأَنْظِرْنِي إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ قَالَ فَإِنَّكَ مِنَ الْمُنْظَرِينَ. He asked that, give me a respite until the day when the dead are raised. So Allah said, you are given the respite. Do whatever you want. But actually Allah has told him that actual slaves of mine will never going to fall in your trap. And one more thing that I must tell you, that one companion, one bad or good companion assigned to every single human being. And there is a hadith, there is a famous narration where Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself said, ما منكم من أحد إلا وقد وكل به قرينه من الجن. There is nobody, absolutely no one among you except one companion is assigned to him, من الجن, from jinn beings. قالوا وإياك يا رسول الله. Companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, what about you, O Prophet of Allah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? قال نعم. He said, yeah, even me. إلا أن الله قد أعانني عليه. However, Allah has helped me against him. فأسلم. So he surrendered himself. He submitted. He actually gave up all of his shenanigans and he accepted Islam. فلا يأمرني إلا بخير. Now he does not command me except to do good. He only commands me to do good now. So even one was assigned to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the most pious, the purest soul on the planet, in the universe. So the one who was assigned to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam surrendered himself and submitted his wills and his shenanigans and gave up and accepted Islam because of the actions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and because of the morality, high morality of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So even if we want to protect ourselves, and one more thing that we need to remember, that Allah has said, min sharril waswasil khannas alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas, who whispers into the chest of people, into the breast of people. Allah has never given someone the access to someone's heart. Allah has never given the access even to shaitan, even to Iblis, even to jinn beings, the access to the hearts of people. The hearts of people are in the hand of the people, because Allah has never given the access to anybody to the hearts of people. So this is also one of the basic things we need to understand, that if we want to protect ourselves, our hearts in our hand. Our hearts are in our hand. We can firmly believe in Allah, and by believing firmly in Allah we can protect ourselves, and by reciting and rehearsing these chapters, these beautiful verses, we can protect ourselves. So this is an easy task to do, and Islam is an easy religion, for sure. And Allah has explained to us, Allah has told us clearly that if we want to protect ourselves, if we want to save ourselves from promptings of shaitan, from whispers of shaitan, one thing is clear: when we recite and rehearse these surahs, these chapters, these powerful verses of Quran, shaitan sneaks out. He can never be patient with those powerful verses. He cannot bear them actually. So if we start reciting and rehearsing those surahs, those chapters and verses, shaitan sneaks out of ourselves, and then he will not get an access to our hearts. we have our own intention. So we need to make our intention purer by reciting and rehearsing those verses. So dear brothers and sisters, if we want to achieve salvation, if we want to achieve satisfaction and the contentment in this life as well as in the life hereafter, if we want to go to Jannah and in the highest rank of Jannah, then we must proceed our life according to the teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and according to the commandments of Allah. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the last messenger himself, commanded us and advised us to recite these 2 chapters on regular basis in order to protect ourselves and save ourselves from the whispers of shaitan, and in order to shine ourselves and bright ourselves, make ourselves brighter in the with the light of Allah, with the light of Quran, with the light of the teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then these things are easy to do. These verses are easy to bear. Allah has made for us an easy way, and we have to recite and rehearse and proceed these surahs, these chapters and verses on regular basis, and we have to believe in those basic and foundational 3 attributes of Allah, the powerful 3 attributes of Allah, the sovereignty of Allah, the divinity of Allah, the lordship of Allah. We have to believe that He is the only one who has created every single being in this world and out of this world, in the whole of universe, and that belief inshallah will lead us to to do good things, to do good deeds according to the teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah grant us His salvation in the day of judgment, and may Allah grant us to proceed our life according to the teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah accept us our good deeds, and may Allah protect us from the whispers of shaitan. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.